Would you like to be somebody who understands how John Milton was able to write Paradise Lost, what some people consider a replacement of the Bible? Then listen to the end of this video where I explain how John Milton attempted to summon the same spirit, the same guiding force which led those authors who wrote the Bible. So before we get into this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Let's go. So Paradise Lost is a poem that is considered one of the greatest poems of English literature. It was written in 1667 and is a theodicy, which is basically a piece of writing that attempts to justify the ways of God whilst evil is present on earth. Now, the story, or the poem, is a long one. It's very difficult, and it revolves around the fall of Satan from heaven and how he attempts to beguile Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So it's actually an in-depth analysis and description of the book of Genesis, specifically the Garden of Eden. So Milton essentially attempts to extend the story of Adam and Eve by filling in the gaps that are left open by the Bible, or the book of Genesis. And you know, the Bible, the biblical stories are actually very short and not that extensive. So there's so much uncertainty that revolves around it, around the literal content of the story. So this is where Milton tries to fill in those gaps. So in the first verse of Paradise Lost, Milton admits that he is attempting something which has never been done before, which is to basically rewrite the Bible, essentially. And some people actually think that Paradise Lost has replaced the Bible. For example, I watched a lecture by Richard Streer on YouTube on Paradise Lost, where he states this, that some people actually think Paradise Lost is a replacement. It has sort of supplanted the Bible, which is unbelievable. All right, so how in the world did Milton achieve this tour de force in attempting and sort of rewriting part of the Bible? The book that has outlived empires, buildings, societies. How? So in the first verse, Milton calls upon the same spirit that turned chaos into order in the beginning of time in the book of Genesis and made light out of darkness. He's essentially conjuring, he is summoning the same spirit that guided those people who wrote the Bible. And I'll make a video tomorrow where I go into the actual text, into the actual poem. It sounds like Milton is kind of starting on an adventure in the first verse, and he is undergoing this call to adventure. He is usually the hero. It's kind of like an adventure, Paradise Lost. It's like from the I perspective, some sections where he's like telling the story. And in the beginning, he's sort of admitting that no one's done this, and he's uncertain about whether it's going to work in some sense. And then he calls upon this guiding force, and in the hero journey, in this sort of archetypal hero cycle, there is always a call to adventure in the beginning, which is kind of like the first verse. And then there is a guiding force, a sort of usually like a mentor or a spirit, which sort of draws the hero in. And this is maybe this Holy Spirit, actually. Yep. So there is some uncertainty about whether he'll succeed. But the fascinating, the unbelievable part is he attempts to summon the spirit and guide him to write Paradise Lost, and it seems like he actually succeeded, which is, when I realized that, I was speechless. And something clicked within me. Because what came to my mind is, if John Milton could do it, maybe we can also do it. And I'm not saying, I'm trying to compare myself to one of the greatest poets of English literature. I'm just trying to say, if it is humanly possible to summon the Holy Spirit, and I'm not talking about, some beaming light will come upon you, but that you can listen to something that will guide you and write or create something of such a significance like Paradise Lost, then that's pretty damn exciting. Oh man. And what I think the Holy Spirit is akin to, or what John Milton did, is he listened to his unconscious mind, where the unconscious mind is this chaos, and it is also the guiding force of life, where potential sort of is extracted from and then manifests itself. And he listened to that and let himself be guided by it to write Paradise Lost. And it is the thing that enables us to create order out of chaos, to create light out of darkness, in figurative terms. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So basically, he summoned this spirit that helped him write this tour de force. Maybe we can also do it. It's humanly possible to do it, potentially. And this book was written 500 years ago, roughly. Not 2,000 years ago, or no, longer than 2,000 years ago, like the Bible was. Like, this is modern kind of stuff, So, in conclusion, the reason why John Milton was able to write Paradise Lost was because in the beginning, and when he experienced this call to adventure to write this piece of art, he summoned the same spirit that helped those authors write the Bible thousands of years ago, which is unbelievable. Because what came to my mind is, maybe we can also do it. Maybe we can listen to our unconscious mind, this sort of divine force within us, and produce something society changing. Pretty exciting. So please leave a comment below whether you think there are any other reasons why John Milton was able to write Paradise Lost, or what other things he was summoning. I know he was also summoning a muse in the beginning, which is basically the same kind of spirit that Homer was able to use to write the Odyssey. And it's this common theme for, I think Virgil also used it to write his pieces. It's basically this common thing where the artists call upon a guiding force to help them produce the art. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Thank you for listening.